Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all, this is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Monday, everybody. Stephanie Jones down at the end of the table. What happened last night, Steph? What are you doing?
Oh, we're going to talk all about it, Jeff.
Well, let's get right to it because we have so much to talk about. We're going all in on the Grammys, of course, that aired last night. Beyonce was late to the show, but she made history with 4 Grammy wins, which broke the record for most Grammy wins ever. During her speech for Best Electronic Dance Album, she thanked her queer fans. Let's take a look.
I'd like to thank my beautiful husband, my beautiful 3 children who are at home watching. I'd like to thank the queer community for your love and for inventing this genre.
She just did a concert overseas, but we'll talk about that later. But the Bayhive is upset today that Beyonce didn't win any of the most prestigious awards like Album of the Year. That award went to Harry Styles. He raised some eyebrows during his speech saying, "This doesn't happen to people like me very often." He also performed last night, and some people said he didn't sound very good either. You be the judge.
Holding me back, gravity's holding me back. I want you to hold out the palm of your hand. Why don't we leave it at that? Nothing to say when everything gets in the way.
All right, I mean, I don't think he was terrible, but you were very upset about the speech and the performance.
This is what I'll say. Beyonce Knowles has never won Album of the Year ever at the Grammys. And for people who know anything about Beyonce, her albums are like works of art, like Lemonade. They are compilations. And there's been a lot of talk about why she is always passed up. And when Harry Styles won, you could visibly see Adele sit down, she did not stand, and try to walk out at one point. And people were leaving, and Harry got up there and I thought did kind of a mediocre job on his speech. It was fine. I'm just saying there's a glaring problem when only 3 black women have ever won Album of the Year, the entire history of the Grammys, and Beyonce's not even one of them.
She has the most Grammys ever.
But not the ones that sort of mean everything.
You mean like Electronic Album of the Year?
Yeah, like that's great. It's not one of the 4 top prestigious, like Best Oscar, Best Directing. It's like Best Sound Mixing. I don't mean to put it down, but I don't think it's at the other top of the other list.
Right, our producer Steve is very mad. Our sound engineer Steve's going to be very upset with that. You know, honestly, you know.
Am I wrong though?
I don't think that you are wrong. I don't know if this was the year that she should have won it, but I honestly feel like Lemonade. I can honestly speak for a dude. Before the term was out, but there's shows on Netflix about an island that's inhabited by men that are not doing great. Starts with the letter F. I'm going to stop it there.
I know what you're saying.
And for a lot of men like myself, I'm being really honest here, when I heard that album and then Jay-Z's response to it, I think a lot of guys my age grew up and realized that your responsibility, your actions have repercussions. And I feel like Lemonade was a cultural
phenomenon.
Phenomenon. So it really affected me personally in my behavior.
Right.
So I feel like if she was going to win Lemonade or something,
that should have
one
been.
of those. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I do think, obviously, with Renaissance, we've not seen as much of her as she has done in the past when she's promoted previous albums like Lemonade and she had the Homecoming show.
Sure.
So she hasn't been as visually present, but also it's Beyonce. She's like the queen of all pop and R&B. She doesn't have to like kill herself when she shows up. It's like we be graced by her presence, not the other way around.
Who did you like for Album of the Year if it wasn't Beyonce?
I think Harry then, as a second. I know obviously we had Lizzo as well. I love Lizzo, but I do think Harry has been more out there. He's been like performing night after night. He's been on tour. We've seen a lot of him, but I think he didn't have his special, you know, that little magical thing about him last night. He was very lackluster.
Do you think he knew if he won, he was going to be looked at poorly?
I think he was genuinely shocked.
Yeah.
And I think when he performed earlier in the night, I mean, I think he was there. He maybe thought he was going to pick up an award, but I think he was very monotone and just not quite with it last night. It was a bit strange, out of character.
Well, good for him. Another big winner last night was Lizzo, who took us all to church with a gospel rendition of her hit song, Special. Take a look. Lizzo won Record of the Year, and during her speech, she gave a huge shout out to Beyonce. Take a look.
In the 5th grade, I skipped school to see you perform. My sister, she got me out of school. It was literature. I'm good. And where you at, Beyonce? My eyes are wet. You changed my life. You sang that gospel medley, and the way you made me feel, I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music.
Wow.
That was great. Adele also won Best Pop Solo Performance for her song Easy on Me. She also had a dream come true when Trevor Noah introduced her to The Rock for the first time. Look, they even hugged it out. And meantime, Bonnie Raitt looked absolutely shocked to take home the Grammy for Song of the Year. She called it an unreal moment during her speech.
I look at her and I just see like a career and a lifetime of music. You look at the collaborations. I mean, it's weird to kind of mention the same breath, but seeing Casey Musgraves and like, you know, talking about Loretta Lynn, and then you kind of think that Bonnie Raitt inspired all of the. It was just, I thought it was just such a great, you know, coming together of just like remembering the people we lost, but like how relevant Bonnie Raitt still is. So I thought that was a really
She was
cool
genuinely shocked. You could see her face.
Legit.
She had no idea that was coming, and that was really beautiful. Because sometimes you see people sitting there and they feel it. They know. They're like, it's gonna be me.
Yeah, but
And for her, that was a real amazing moment, and that's really beautiful. They're the moments that you love to see. You know?
She's never won songwriting ever, and by the way, she's one of my favorite songwriters. And that song was dedicated to John Prine, one who passed away, a songwriter, and so she felt extra happy with that being the one that won. But if you ever need to hear, just listen to her, Angel from Montgomery, Bonnie Raitt, and just cry. She's beautiful, beautiful.
I like that you know what I mean? I like that there was some unpredictability in there. Like she won and she was shocked, just like everybody at home.
Totally. We were like, whoa.
I mean, watching this, honestly, I kind of went in there biased, like, great, Beyonce and Taylor Swift and Lizzo are going to win every single award there is, right? And they kind of shook it up a little bit. I don't know, I can't name another I don't even know what that song was. I can't name another one. I don't know if he deserved it, but I'm saying I like that they shook it up a little bit. And as far as Beyonce being snubbed, to win all the awards, I mean, I don't know if that's a snub. I know she didn't win the big one, but if you have the most ever, that's saying something too.
Yeah, it is. It's just, I feel like there's been an intentional exclusivity with her and album of the year when it wasn't deserved.
All right.
You know, I tend to focus on.
I was like,
I just left it dead. All right.
But I focus on the positive. The most awards ever, and I feel like this is a great year for music. And I feel good coming out of COVID, you know, and just like seeing people close together and no one's worried about masks or this. And I thought
good
this
high
was
energy too.
This reminded me of like what life was like before COVID. Like that was a show they put on. I was down with that.
Yeah, and we ran out of time here, but I did want to give a shout out to Trevor Noah. I thought he did a fantastic job.
Brilliant.
There was a lot going on. To be around all those stars and just be presenting and doing your job, and I mean, I thought he did a fantastic job.
I think he'll be hosting it for the next like 15 years. That's it. It's his now.
What about LL?
I do like LL.
No, Trevor has got this now for the foreseeable future.
But the ladies love Cool James.
He was also fabulous.
He was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to talk about him in a little bit. Coming up on DBL, we're breaking down some of the best and worst fashion moments from the Grammys. Woo-hoo, Stephanie Jones is here. Plus the 50th anniversary of hip-hop at the Grammys, like we talked about. Brought out all the icons. We're going to talk about that.
Our viewers are talking about DBL.
Yes!
I like that.
Leaves me speechless. I'm like blushing.
Thank you, thank you.
That's emotional.
Do I want to sit there and watch them? Yes, I do.
Just watching Trevor Noah last night from a host perspective, like he didn't stutter any of his words. He nailed everything. Some of the names were difficult in there because I was listening. I was like, wow, he introduced those people smooth as butter. And if he did screw up, I didn't see it because he was always playing with the audience as well as hitting his prompter. To walk and talk and having people like The Rock come in and out and Beyonce and Jay-Z. It's for me, that would be difficult in the beginning, especially till I got used to my surroundings, but just coming from a host perspective, I was like, man, that he's really good.
Especially because Beyonce and Jay-Z weren't there, and he had lines about Beyonce and Jay-Z being there, so he had to riff. And at one point, did you see the crowd? They had like people stop, and he's like, "Go ahead, let him go through." So it relaxed everybody.
I really liked it. I really liked it as a host perspective.
I thought, and I also thought at first he was being corny with his optimism, and then I was like, "Oh no, he's being like a happy, genuine." Like I was so cynical. Remember when you could be just positive?
It's just like I've said this probably to you off camera. I feel like now snarky and cynical is now a personality type.
Yeah.
Like everything is terrible, and like the new
It's not
James
cool.
Bond came out, and let's just say it's like I don't want to live my life like that.
Yeah.
Like I just want to realize like this movie's out. They made it to entertain me. I liked it or I didn't, but everything doesn't have to be so much snark because that gets into your mind that everything's terrible and the world's going. You know, I don't even know if you can say hell in a handbasket, but I feel like 90-year-olds could, so we can too. But it's just. I'm trying to be positive.
No, I think it's much better. And I think, honestly, Trevor just did such a good job. He's so relatable. He's kind. He's friendly. He handled all the life situations well. The celebrities like him. Then, you know, they're open to him. They're not, like, closed off to him. So the celebrities in general, they warm to Trevor Noah. Like,
Well, it's probably an interview
with
about
him.
Welcome back. We can't mention the Grammys without talking about the fashion. I feel like Trevor Noah right now, except the opposite of a big star next to me. We have Stephanie Jones to break down the best and worst looks of the night, I should say. Steph?
Absolutely. Well, the stars definitely brought their A fashion game to the red carpet. Some took a few risks that paid off, and others definitely did not. So let's have a look. Cardi B, she won the night in this gorgeous deep royal blue gown. It looks like a sculpture. And this dress actually appeared on the runway at Paris Fashion Week just over a week ago.
Wow.
Amazing.
It's like water.
I know, it's beautiful. And Lizzo stunned in this bright orange Dolce & Gabbana opera coat with flowers and a huge hood, which she later brought down and revealed her gorgeous face and gorgeous little haircut.
Stunned who? You like that?
I think she looks lovely. This could be a magazine
She
front
stunned
cover.
people
This
because they
could
thought
be
they were
Vogue.
covering up on
No,
Paris.
the colour palette, the scheme. Jeff, no.
I love you.
Sam Smith, now he showed up in this red Valentino gown with matching gloves, a veiled top hat, sparkly cane with Kim Petras, and an entourage that featured members of RuPaul's Drag Race. What you thinking, Jeff? You gonna wear that to go out and buy
it's very, what's that video with all the girls, you know?
Devo?
Is it Devo? No, it's not. Paul, you know what I'm talking about? Palmer. What's his name? Robert Palmer. You don't even know who that video? You don't know that video?
No.
Wow, I'm old.
Okay,
All
moving
right.
on. Now let's look at Taylor Swift. She wore this midnight blue midriff-bearing dress. It's a nod to her latest album, Midnights.
Yeah.
Of course, stunning. We've got Mary J.
Steph,
Blige.
is that a little underwhelming for you?
I thought she looked very sleek.
You liked it?
Simple.
Okay.
I liked it. We've got Mary J. Blige looking gorgeous in this silver metallic dress with cutouts at her hips, very sexy. And we've got Black China. I hated it, giving me goth mood vibes. I don't know what is going on. She should sack a stylist. Awful.
And why are you there?
I don't know.
They
Who are
should give
you?
her
Why are you there?
Lizzo's blanket and cover her up.
I really think that's would have been more appropriate. And then couples that twin together, stay together. Look at Pharrell and his wife matching in their leather tracksuit.
That's an Al Jackson.
So cool.
Love that
But everyone was chatting about Shania Twain. So these are her 3 looks throughout the night with the same bright red wig. People online thought she looked like Cruella de Vil or the Wendy's girl. I've got to say, none of these really hit the mark for me. I love Shania. The first outfit that she wore, it does give Cruella de Vil vibes with like the Dalmatian kind of spotty black and white outfit.
Yeah.
It's just not serving that Shania goodness that we're used to.
I agree.
I want to ask you, can you wear that if you're wearing also kind of a crazy cow-spotted outfit? Can you still have a red wig on, or do you have to have less of a
No, you know what?
attraction to your hair
I
and
think
more
her
outfit?
stylist has been like, let's just push the boundaries, let's just go for it, let's
Your
just
new
get out
income,
there. And she was talking a lot about collaborating with Harry Styles. I think she's trying to be a bit funky because we see Harry wearing some interesting things, don't we? I think she's trying to like tap a little into that genre. didn't really work though, babe.
No.
Am I the only one that was in love with the tracksuits? That's on my vision board.
That's
Jeff,
an
you
Al
write down your
Jackson.
goals
That is Al
every year.
Jackson.
Just have me and
You
my
would wear
partner.
that.
Yeah, just in like really nice tracksuits. That's like, I'm telling you, I'm really just working hard so eventually I can just wear tracksuits all day and not answer the phone.
Well, let me ask you this. We have Harry Styles, I think. Would you wear this? There's the tracksuits. Would you
love
wear
it.
this onesie? This is Harry Styles.
You know what? I really think he can pull it off.
I do too. Al?
I mean, you guys know I love a romper. You know I love a onesie. You know this is what I live for. I don't know. That's too
Pretty
much
low.
scoop neck.
Yeah,
That's a lot
It's
of.
pretty low, isn't it?
Yeah, but I have an all velour onesie that I wouldn't mind wearing. But when you have the scoop neck, first of all, it depends on where I'm going because you can't go anywhere with chest hair out. You can't when people are eating. So it's gonna maybe you got to wear like one of the maybe Lizzo's coat. When you walk in and then reveal it. But I feel like that would be kind of cool if you did have like a huge kind of outer layer like that and then have the scoop neck.
Yeah.
I'd be down, but it's a little too.
I think we've not spoken about J-Lo looked so gorgeous with her miserable date, but we'll talk about that later. But she's just stunning, isn't she?
One of my favorite looks
so
of the night.
effortless. She can pull anything off. And
Would you guys
$1
go see
million.
like? I'm maybe too practical, but I'm like, how do you get in the car with that? You know what I mean?
Oh, with a lot
would you
of help
guys
and
go
assistance.
would you go big if you were on a big red carpet? Would you go big sleeves, big train?
Staff would.
Or would you keep it more Taylor Swift and
I'm
mainstream?
no on red carpet, but I love a bit of a sleeve.
She does like it. I think Grammys are more rock and
Do love
roll, and you want to
sleeve.
make that a little more funky. But if you were doing something more like sleek, maybe at the Oscars you tone it down. Maybe. That's what I would do.
Interesting.
But Black China looked just like a chicken.
Oh, she just looked terrible.
It was terrible.
It's a weird look.
Who put her in that outfit?
Why was she there?
Who gave her the invitation?
Get out of here.
Lots of questions.
Look at that.
Yeah, a lot of
don't
questions. A lot of questions
understand.
coming up on DBL. Ben Affleck has become an internet meme again. Steph mentioned it, and we're talking about the viral moment next.
In this TikTok with more than 5 million views, a woman warns shoppers not to buy certain air fryers because of a label she spotted on the box.
Warning, cancer and reproductive harm. What?
But does this label mean a product has been shown to cause cancer? Let's verify. Our sources: California Proposition 65, the California Environmental Protection Agency, and the American Cancer Society. The label exists because of Prop 65, which California voters approved back in 1986. It says that if a product has any chemical that might cause cancer, that warning label has to go on it. You might see the label in other states too, since some companies don't want to make separate packages just for California. The list is updated constantly and right now has more than 900 chemicals. But it's not like California tested each product to see if it's actually dangerous. If there's even a tiny amount of any of the listed chemicals in the product, a warning is required by law. Not only that, if a listed chemical could be created by using the product, a warning is required. For instance, there's a chemical on the list that forms naturally when you cook certain vegetables at high heat, like in an air fryer. So even if that chemical isn't in the air fryer itself, the fryer still needs a label. We can verify, no, a Prop 65 warning label does not mean a product has been shown to cause cancer. It only means it contains or creates some amount of a chemical that could cause cancer. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
This February, love is in the air with a luxury included vacation to Sandals Dunn's River. Watch DBL every day and start entering for your chance to win the trip of a lifetime.
I guess it's just a radical. No, it's a radical. Yes, to make it critical. The only part of your body to be part of you. Get the power on the eye from the revenue. Yo,
I want to be Flava Flav in my next life.
Yeah.
That was Chuck D and Flava Flav from Public Enemy reuniting for the 50th anniversary of the hip hop tribute at the Grammys. So Grandmaster Flash and Run DMC kicked off the tribute. Other performances included LL Cool J, Queen Latifah, Method Man from Wu-Tang Clan. He even got Jay-Z out of his seat, and Missy Elliott looked unrecognizable. Other artists include Nelly, Busta Rhymes, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Salt and Peppa. Woo! That was a Al.
Jeff, you're running down these names, and normally we're looking at like a look back through hip hop, and you're like, oh, I haven't seen that guy, but you've seen DJ Jazzy Jeff. He was DJing the NFC Championship game last week. Missy had the trailer for her Super Bowl that's coming this week. LL is on your TV every week. Ice-T is on your TV every week. Missy Elliott is the equalizer every week. Hip hop is not only our past and our future, but it's our present right now. If you think about how much it's taken over the entire, I was just looking at Flavor Flav, and I was like, he's the jump off for reality TV, The Surreal Life. Then it was him and Bridget Nielsen. Then it was Flavor Loves Brigitte, and then it was Rock of Love, and here we go. It's like this weird cultural crossing point for everything.
Yeah, speaking of DJ Jazzy Jeff, in 1989, him and Will Smith won the first ever Best Rap Performance.
Wow.
And they didn't go because they gave that award out during the day. It was nothing back then.
Wow.
And you know what Will Smith called it?
What?
A slap in the face.
Stop it.
Ironic.
Listen, that joke should have landed a lot harder, by the way.
That was really
that was a really good one. Anyways, Ben Affleck is taking over the internet. Once again, images of Ben sitting with Jennifer Lopez. He looked bored. They have gone viral, of course. And this one, someone on Twitter wrote, Ben Affleck, blink if you're okay. And another, J-Lo was dancing along to Smokey Robinson and Stevie Wonder, but Ben, not so much. And in this photo, someone wrote, however bad of a day you're having, I promise you're not as miserable as Ben Affleck at the Grammys.
I don't mean to go hard on Ben Affleck, but every single time there's an award show or situation, he's like a meme generator. I mean, like, I wrote it on Twitter immediately. I was like, well, there goes another gif of Ben looking miserable. And I got like 30 gazillion, I got like 3 likes. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's keep it real. But the idea is, and it went just everywhere. And then Dave Holmes wrote, couldn't she have just brought like J-Lo an enthusiastic friend? I mean, there was like, he looks like a sandwich that he loved, the restaurant closed down. Like, there's just so much, I just don't get the pained, winced look.
I think it's, I'm dying to go outside and I've got a craving that needs fixing, you know?
Maybe a smoke break.
He likes a bit of a smoke, doesn't he?
And
a bit of a smoke, a bit of a cup of coffee, a Dunkin' Donuts,
these award ceremonies, are they long?
Yeah, I mean, it's
like
long
3.5
watching
hours.
sometimes at home. It's 3 hours. I mean, never mind if you sat there and there's no way. Let's remember, J-Lo doesn't drink, J-Lo doesn't do caffeine, J-Lo doesn't smoke, so there's no chance she's going to let Ben toddle on off and leave her by herself, one of the other queens of pop, while he goes on off and has a little cheeky cigarette outside. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, but listen, it's award season. He's obviously going to all the movie and stuff awards. These aren't his friends. You know what I mean? He's got his friends at the Oscars. These are J-Lo friends. And every time, Beyonce, again? All right. You know what I mean? Like, if you got to stand 80 times for Beyonce, he's probably like, I'm over it. It's 3 hours long. We've done this 8 times this week. I want to go home. I want to relax.
Build defense for BA. I love it.
For BA.
Yeah, man, me and we text a lot.
I saw J-Lo posted literally just this morning. She was like texting like, a lovely night with my amazing husband, and there's all these pictures, and there's like one of Ben, and there's 20 of her, and it's her like giving her award, her posing, and then there's one where he sat there and she's like, smile.
Poor Ben. We'll be
Perfect
right back.
relationship.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Wait, again.
DBL several tweeting trailblazers in Black history. We're recognizing some of the first Black Americans to break color barriers in sports. Moses Fleetwood Walker, better known as Fleet, was the first African American to play Major League Baseball in the 19th century. Walker played 42 games for Toledo Blue Stockings, and no other African American would play in the major leagues until Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947.
Claim MSNBC host Yasmin Vasugian couldn't possibly get myocarditis because of the common cold and that it had to be from the COVID-19 vaccine. So the question, can you develop myocarditis from the common cold? Let's verify. Our sources, cardiologist Dr. Pyle Coley, Johns Hopkins Medicine, and the American Heart Association. According to Johns Hopkins, myocarditis occurs when the heart muscle becomes inflamed. They go on to say myocarditis is rare and it usually is caused by an infection in the body, most commonly by the common cold, influenza, or COVID-19.
When we see a patient who comes in with myocarditis, one of the first questions that I'll ask is, have you had a cold recently? When you have a cold, it activates the immune system. The immune system gets confused, attacks your own heart cells instead and causes inflammation of the heart.
Dr. Coley tells us myocarditis is not a new disease, but doctors are reporting it more since the pandemic began.
We have seen overall a higher number of cases of myocarditis because we're looking harder for myocarditis.
The COVID-19 vaccine can cause cases of myocarditis. However, Dr. Coley says these cases would develop within the few weeks, not later down the line.
Because it happens all with that immune activation phenomena. So temporarily, it occurs soon after that exposure, whether that exposure is the vaccine or, in this particular case, a virus.
In a study by the American Heart Association, researchers looked at medical records of people hospitalized for myocarditis within 21 days of receiving the Pfizer or Moderna COVID vaccine. They found out of the 7.3 million people receiving the first, second, or third dose, only 36 people were hospitalized for myocarditis. So we can verify that while some people can get myocarditis from the COVID vaccine, doctors say you are far more likely to get it from the common cold. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Taxpayers will get a few extra days this year to file their returns, but this tax season brings several changes. So, is it important to file early? Let's verify. Our sources are Mark Stieber, Chief Tax Officer at Jackson Hewitt, and 11 Alive financial expert Andrew Poulos. Breaks like the child tax credit and earned income tax credit are returning to pre-pandemic levels, so the average refund will be smaller this year. Stieber says anyone who is getting a refund will get it faster the earlier they file. Plus, it's a good way to avoid identity thieves.
We know those pesky data thieves out there with breaches and other types of ways on the dark web to get your data. Many will try to file an early tax return and swoop around you and steal your tax refund.
However, you don't want to rush. Poulos says filing before you get all of the pertinent documentation is a problem.
If you file a return that's not complete or accurate, meaning there's missing information, then you're going to get a notice from the IRS probably in 3, 6, 9 months from now, and then you're going to have to clean up that mess.
Your tax documents should already be on the way. The deadline to send them to you was January 31st.
If you didn't get your W-2 or 1099, you'll need to take some action because you'll need that information to file a complete and accurate tax return.
The IRS hired thousands of new employees to help taxpayers through the process.
Hopefully this is going to be a much smoother filing season for both taxpayers and for the IRS.
So we can verify. It's true. It is a good idea to file your return earlier than later, but not before you have all the information you need to file a complete return.
Today's Sandals word of the day is scuba. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2 to beautiful Jamaica.
So, Tori, before we go, you got a shout out?
I'm so proud of
I'm sitting next to you and it rubbed off.
I'm so proud of you. Yes, so just proud of you. Viola Davis won her EGOT last night. She won her Grammy.
Huge. Yes.
Huge. I believe there's only 18 total in the world that have an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony. And I also want to say, as a Swiftie, quick topic, she kind of knew where the camera was, like a little too much. Like, we got it. You're into it. You're the problem. It's you.
Oh, I feel that's so mean.
What do you mean? She would have got
too much. You're aware? We got it.
Wow, write us in. All right, Tori.